Will you shut that door? And then you can come up here. Okay, hello everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. As you guys come in, do me a favor, and because we are going live on StreamYard and of course YouTube, do me a favor, drop a comment in there so that I know that you're here. Because once again, this is an interactive class, and the purpose of doing StreamYard is to give multiple opportunities for in-live class as well as attending virtually. So as we get started today, we do have a sponsor here, because remember, I'm teaching here at the Forum Real Estate School, and we do have a sponsor that is here. I'm going to invite him up so he can tell you a little bit about his products. He's with Adobe Home Inspections. I'll bring up a slide, and Darren, why don't you come up and introduce yourself, tell them about your products.
Hello, I'm Darren with Adobe Property Inspections. Commercial break already, I know, we just started. So as you know, home inspectors are probably the kings and queens of gadgets, toys, and tech stuff. The only problem with gadgets and toys and techs is knowing how to use it. So you want to have the proper tools. You want to have someone who knows how to use the tools as well. So I'm a big believer in education, not only just for myself, but for the clients. I take the time to sit down and talk to them about the use of the tools that I use to inspect. I'm always there for them. I'm not just throwing a summary report and then running out saying you're on your own. So I'm there to help educate the client as well. Last thing you want is a worried client looking at the report thinking, hey, what's this, and all that information. So we'll take the time to do that for you, whether it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 years. I'm always there for you and your client. Other than that, I know that everyone has their own home inspector. That is great. The one thing I offer is $100 off for any first-time realtor or new use of my services, just to try me out if you want, or to pass on some good savings to your clients. I know they're stressing out enough about the cost of everything being inflated right now. So if there's anything I can be of service for, please let me know. Thanks for letting me be here today.
Okay, awesome. So you guys will be able to download these slides. I'll give instructions, so you'll have his contact information. Of course, you can reach out to the forum. They'll have his contact information, and you got a thumbs up, Darren. So thanks for. It's too bad that you're not here because he actually brought some treats. So for those of you who are online, but yeah. Okay, so my name's Christy Jenks. I'm teaching a class today called Tech Tools for Agents. It's going to be a combo of both free tools and non-free tools, and we'll rate them based on how important they are in your business, and I've kind of done my best to shape them. So who am I? I am team leader here at the Big Helper Realty Group with EXP in Phoenix, Arizona, and I absolutely love giving back to my agent community, so I teach here at the forum, and of course, because I do have a team, I want to put that out there. If you're not sure if you should be on a team, let me know, right? I'm always looking to recruit good agents to our team and help them grow and reach their real estate goals. So you can learn more about my team and myself and my husband who runs the team with me at thebighelpergroup.com, where you can just learn a little bit about us, maybe even set up a as we would say to our sellers, a free, no obligation consultation to see if maybe a team is a good fit for you. So let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, before I do that, you can access all of the slides today. Again, the slides, which will have Darren's information on there, and then also all of the resources that I'm going to be sharing with you at bighelpertraining.com. It's going to ask for your name, phone number, email, and that's just so we can stay connected and I can let you know when I'm teaching other classes. I have several other classes that I teach, and I just want to make sure that you have access to them. And of course, if you had any follow-up questions, you can see that you can get a hold of me at Christy Jenks, both on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and the Big Helper Realty Group as well. So let's go ahead and jump in. The reason for this class is because I shared a picture of my family, right? I have 7 kids, and What that means is that I'm a very, very busy person, right? So I've got my family, I have my team where we're selling, over 100 homes a year and working to service our clients and make sure that they have everything they need. I'm also a coach for Tom Ferry, and that's something else that I love. I teach here at the forum. So as you can tell, I'm trying to balance it all. Now, let's just talk about one of those roles, right? The one role being I'm a real estate agent. And as a real estate agent, by ourselves, we truly have to balance it all, right? So I love this image of trying to balance it all. Well, let's just see, what else do we have to balance? Oh, okay, I've got to do all these things, but I also need to ride a Binzer. And I need to make sure I pick up my son from soccer and my daughter from cheer and just feed all those people. My family's already texting me today. I ordered my groceries on Friday and they're already texting me, I need deodorant, and I forget some of the other stuff they text me. But again, so I'm juggling another plate, right? Oh, and by the way, there's no inventory, right? We're going to drop below 4,000 active homes here probably next week. So when a property comes up, I have to drop everything and go show a home, right? On top of that, I need to feed my family, feed myself. I've got a bunch of clients I need to follow up with. And then, of course, I need to take care of my health. Am I exercising? You can see where we're going, right? I'm already juggling in just one of my, two roles. I put family in here and agent. Now I've got to run to a home inspection. And then I need to check my email and respond to email. And then, of course, we can't forget to lead generate. I've got to lead generate to make sure that the business keeps moving forward. And if I want to stay married to my husband, who I love, I better make sure to give him some attention, right? What's a date night? What does all this look like? Oh, and then of course I need to nurture all my past clients and my database, and the list goes on and on. Let's not forget marketing, right? You see where we're going. If you have this image now, this is an agent trying to juggle all the aspects of their life, trying to juggle all the responsibility that is placed on them in this crazy industry. And so that's why I'm here to talk about technology. I will tell you that my husband's actually my tech support. We joke all the time that he's my tech support. So I'm not the most technologically advanced person you'll meet. So just know that, that's me being transparent with you. But I love technology because it allows me to do more with the limited resource of time, right? I have a very limited resource in time. I can't fabricate that or create more of it. So I just have to be smart in how I approach my business. And that's where technology comes into place. So I am going to be sharing so many different tips with you today. And like I said, I tried to kind of put them into different categories, and you'll have links to everything. But at the end of the day, just know, take what you can and then just save it for later. You do not need to implement all of this right now. But let's start with email, because email is something that we can't get away from, right? Email is going to be there, and it's something that you have to do every single day. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of jump between the slides and some live examples. So the first one I talk about is Snooze. So I am a massive fan of Gmail. I love Gmail. I do have my own G Suite. So what does G Suite mean? G Suite means that, my email is, I purchased it. So it's Christy@bighelpergroup.com. But I also have ChristyJenks@gmail.com, and that one's free, right? So the free ones are the @gmail.com, or you can purchase a G Suite and own your own domain and everything that goes with that. And it's not very expensive, but even if you're just functioning off of basic Gmail, it's a very, very powerful tool. So one of the tools that I use to help me is something called Snooze. So I'm going to jump into my email and I'm going to show you what Snooze does. So it is in your settings. You do have to activate it in your settings, but a lot of times emails are coming in, right? Emails are coming in, life is moving fast, and I use my goal is to get to inbox zero. What's inbox zero? Inbox zero is where how many emails do I have right now? I have 3 unread emails. My goal is always at the end of the day, I have 0 emails in my inbox. I am not one of those persons like my mom who has like 6,000 emails in her inbox, right? Like, no, I use my inbox as my to-do list and a priority. Well, sometimes there are things that I need to address, but I don't want to necessarily leave it in my inbox. So I use this feature called snooze. So right up here, you can see I'm hover over it, it says snooze. And if I click on that, I can then have this email leave my inbox and come back to me at a designated time. It is one of the coolest features, right? Like, so I can even customize the date and the time. So I can say, okay, so snooze for later today. So maybe I want this to come back to me. I use this one a lot for school emails, right? Because I have so many kids, I get a lot of emails from the school and I don't want it cluttering up my inbox during the day. So I'll snooze it for 4 o'clock because that's when I'm going home. It'll pop back up in my inbox and I'll be like, oh yeah, Red, you need to do this. Julia, you need to do this, right? Because again, that email is something that I need to do. I just don't want to deal with it right now. So the snooze feature is one of my absolute favorite features when it comes to managing your inbox and just having a better relationship when it comes to email. So let's see. The next one that I have on the list is called Boomerang. And Boomerang is a Google Chrome plugin. So all these up here in this corner, these are all my like Google Chrome plugins, and that just makes it like super easy access. I use a lot of different Chrome plugins. Chrome is the browser that I use because it works so well with Google, and it's just very stable on most anything. So, and I'm a Mac user, and I still use Chrome. So, what is Boomerang? I'm going to go back into my email, and I have this little boomerang up here. It's probably going to ask me to log in or reload. So we'll do that. But essentially, Boomerang, oh my gosh, I can't even name all of the things that Boomerang does. But one of the primary reasons that I use it is because it does exactly what it says. What does the boomerang do when you throw it out there? It does what? It comes back to you. So let's say that I send an email to my client asking them to sign some documents, right? And has it ever happened to you that your client just doesn't get back to you and then you forget, right? Like that totally could happen. So what I can do is I can boomerang an email and say, hey, if they do not reply, right, send this back to me in 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 2 days, right? Like you can completely customize this. That's what's so beautiful. If they don't respond to me, if this person doesn't respond to me, then boomerang this email to come back to me so that I don't forget, okay? That's one of the reasons that I love Boomerang. But there's a lot of other things too. Notice that I can also pause my inbox. Now that's not necessarily a Boomerang feature, but when I refreshed it, it came up here. This is another great email tool that I just wanted to point out since the icon's here. It allows me to, let's say that I, just get into the office, I've got a bunch of things to do, and, getting a ton of emails can be distracting. So I can actually pause my inbox, which means that emails will not be delivered to my inbox for a short amount of time. I get to decide so that I can stay focused, refresh, and get back at it. So that's one of the things that I absolutely love. But let's go back to Boomerang. So the Boomerang icon's right here. If I click on this, one of the ways that I use Boomerang the most is to schedule outgoing emails. So let me explain that. There are things that I need to do each week, or there are emails that I need to go out to remind things. Or let's just say I want to send an email and I want to send it like 2 days from now. You can do that within Gmail. I'll show you how to do that as well. But I like Boomerang because I can schedule reoccurring messages, like reminders and all sorts of things. And you can schedule them in advance, and it's just very, very helpful. So for instance, let's say that I wanted to email somebody something and I want to send it later, right? I would click on here and I can send it later. I can do here, schedule send. probably because because I don't have a recipient. It's really hard for me to see the tiny little screen. Christy, and then I can decide when I want to schedule that. So a lot of times what I like to do is I like to schedule emails that when I don't want it to get responded to right away, or something that I know, like maybe it's someone's birthday and I want to send them an email, but I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be out doing showings or something like that. I can draft the email and then I can figure out when I want to schedule it to send it. And that's just a really valuable tool to be able to send reoccurring emails and scheduling emails that also reoccur. There's so many fun things to do, let alone being able to track. So Boomerang also is a tracking mechanism. So you can see if someone opened it, if they read it. It's just a really great tool to use inside of your email. Okay, so that's Boomerang. Again, here's the deal. If you guys have questions, I can see them on StreamYard. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to see all of them, but I do see them. So you can comment here on Facebook and it'll show me the post. You can reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as possible, right? So, okay, one of my other favorite tools is something called Calendly. So I put it in the email section because one of the things that's super annoying, and you've probably experienced this, is when you're trying to schedule to meet with somebody, right? Like you're trying to schedule to meet with somebody and you're back and forth and back and forth. Well, I can do this time and I can do, right? Oh, but I'm not available. So I use Calendly. It is one of the coolest tools out there. And this is free. I use the free version of Calendly. And I do have a video on how to set up Calendly. If you're interested, just reach out and let me know. I'll share a video with you on how to set up your Calendly as a realtor so that your clients can book you. So in my email signature, I also, you'll see, let me cancel this. You'll see that I can, right here, schedule with me. That's a Calendly link. So basically what it does is Calendly is linked to my Google Calendar and I set the parameters of when I want to be available. So I share this link with people. And if you click on this link, what it'll do is it'll take you to my availability. So currently I have one available time slot on the 19th of where someone can book me. And I have one on the 26th. So they click on here and they'll be able to choose a time that works best for them. So again, I use this with all of my clients. I send them a link to my calendar. And it, basically it just shows what I have available and what I don't have available. And then they're able to pick a time that works for them. So it cuts down on that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's completely customizable. I don't allow access to my calendars on Saturdays and Sundays. So nobody can book me on Saturdays and Sundays. If I wanted to open it up, I could just go in real quick, edit it, open up Saturday or open up Sunday, and then send the link to my client. So you can also select how far out you want to be booked. I usually do about 2 weeks is all I have in advance. So I love Calendly. It's a fantastic tool. It's super easy to use and it works great with your email features. Okay, so the next tool that I use with email a lot is a product called Loom. So remember, in the resources, you're going to have links to all of these different products, but Loom is a product that I've been using for probably 5 or 6 years, and there's still a free version. They just started charging for it probably like 6 months ago to get the full all out access, but there's still a free version. And what Loom allows you to do is it allows you to record videos of your desktop. And so one of the ways that I use it the most is when I'm doing CMAs for clients. So I will do a CMA and I'll record, right? I'll record all of the comps, explaining the comps, and then I send it over with my CMA. I also use it for training videos. You can see I use it for a lot of different reasons. You can create folders. So here's a folder about one of our products called Sisu that we use a lot, which I'll be going over. But it's such an easy tool and it lives right here. So anytime, and I'm not going to do it now because it would probably get confused because I'm in a StreamYard, right? And but if I click on this little button, it's a Google Chrome plugin. It opens up and it says, do you want to record your screen? And do you want to be in the video? So I can record my screen and I can be in it, or I can take myself out of the video, and then I can go through and it stores it all here with a shareable link. And it's a really cool tool. Once you start using it, you'll get kind of addicted because you'll see that you can use it for a lot of different applications. I use it to store training videos with my virtual assistants. I use it to with my clients to explain comps or to explain something when I'm trying. Like, here's a great one. When a client wants a certain type of home that's not available, I'll go into the MLS and I'll show them. I'll say, okay, there's 4,572 total active homes, and you're looking for a 4-bedroom. So I'll put 4 bedrooms in, and then you see the inventory start to go down to like maybe 1,300, and you want a pool. And you want it to be under 200,000, and then it goes to 0. And I'm like, so as you can see, right, there's no inventory. And so that's why I like to use Loom with my clients. It really helps them see, what I'm working on for them and as it pertains to what we're doing with them. Okay, so that's Loom. And then the next one that I really love is a product called Unroll.me. So I'm going to close some of these tabs as we use them. Okay, so Unroll.me is such a cool product, and it's free. What you can do is you go to Unroll.me, and there's other ones too. I really like this one. But so it says to me, I have 323 new email subscriptions. And it asks me, do I want to add this to my roll-up, or do I want to keep it in my inbox, or do I want to unsubscribe? So if I say unsubscribe, it will just unsubscribe me from that email, like one click and I'm done, right? Like, I still totally want to get ASU Gamma. So I'm going to add that to my roll up. As You Wish Pottery, I'm just going to unsubscribe. I don't need that, right? So I can just quickly boom, 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 decide what's important, what's not important, what I'm going to keep, what I'm not going to keep. And so again, one button, it unsubscribes. When it gives you a roll up, it's basically one email that summarizes all of the emails that you got that have the word in them unsubscribe. And that's how it kind of filters through. So it's such a cool tool to just kind of clean up your inbox and help you get more done when you're working in email. Because let's face it, email can really take a long time. The next tool that I love, if you're not already using a product called Grammarly, it works in Transaction Desk, it works in your email, it works in Google Documents, and it basically makes sure that your grammar is good, that your punctuation is correct, your spelling is correct, and it's such an amazing tool. I use the free version. I don't even pay for the upgraded version, but it's a really incredible tool to just make sure that you're at the top of your game. So if you're not using Grammarly, I'm going to highly suggest that you look into downloading Grammarly. Again, it's a Google Chrome plugin, so it's right here. It lives right on my screen, and it just gives me the suggestions that I need to make sure that I'm at the top of my game. Okay, so the next one that I wanted to share with you is a tool that I use in my email all the time, and I call them templated emails. So let's go back to my inbox, and again, so let me just delete this. We're going to say that's just delete. But let's say that you find yourself writing the same type of email over and over and over and over. It happens all the time, right? Like when you open an escrow, kind of the same format of an email, or at the end of a transaction when you're asking for a review. So what you can do is you go to Compose, you write the email that you want to create a template around, and then you save it. So how you access your templates or how you save your template is these 3 dots over here on the bottom. You click on that, and now you can see all of the templates that I have, which is really, really cool. So I can come over here, and I tend to send this setting SMART goals email a lot. So I create a template. I just click on here, and now it populates the email. Using templated emails saves me so much time because there's certain data points that you just have to do again and again and again. So save yourself some time and create some templated emails. And I promise you that you will not regret the time that you spent creating templated emails. Okay, so the next one is a product called BombBomb and Cloud HQ. So BombBomb is actually something that you pay for. So in my opinion, it's completely worth it. BombBomb does video email, it does video texting, it does newsletters and branded emails. It's basically an email service provider that's video based. So you wouldn't need to use a product like MailChimp or Emma or Constant Contact. You could basically just put all of that into one email service provider, with the added benefit that BombBomb specializes in video. So it makes it really easy to record videos from your phone, from your email, right within Gmail. You just click one button, it opens up a video, which is really, really cool. They've integrated with KV Core, with Boomtown, Sierra Interactive, almost all of the big CRMs, Follow Up Boss, they all integrate with BombBomb, and it integrates natively with your email account. So it's just super simple, one button push, opens up your camera, you record the video, and then it delivers it completely bannered, your logo. So it's a really great tool. There's a free product called Cloud HQ. And so let me shut this one. A free product called Cloud HQ that does the same thing. It's just not quite as slick. But you can download Cloud HQ to your Gmail account, and it will do the same thing with one push of a button. It opens up a video camera, and you can record a video and send it out and track it. It also does a lot of other things, but Cloud HQ is the free version that I used for a long time before I purchased BombBomb, right? We got to sell homes, let's be profitable. So Cloud HQ, they have actually a lot of different tools, but the one that I found the most helpful was email tracking and video email. And again, those tools are absolutely free. So I encourage you to look into them or into BombBomb, because it really is an incredible tool. So another thing that, with email, I'm going to highly recommend is that you look at upgrading your email signature. So I use a product called WiseStamp, and for years I used the free version. And so this is the paid version, but the free version just has a little tiny thing that says, if you want a signature like this, use WiseStamp. So basically they'll let you create a free dynamic email signature. So when I say dynamic, that means these are all clickable links. Remember, I want someone to schedule with me through Calendly, so I have a link right here. But you can also access my Facebook, I can't even see those icons, it's so small. But yeah, my Google My Business, my LinkedIn profile, my Instagram, and my Zillow reviews. So it's a very dynamic, and you can customize your pictures and lots of different tools like that. So WiseStamp, again, they have a free version, and there's a lot of different companies like WiseStamp. So my recommendation is that you just make sure, look at which one's going to be best for you, and then go from there, because you don't have to use WiseStamp. The whole purpose of it is that there we go. I'm going to put that on there, and hopefully I don't get any more interruptions on my text messages and things. So again, WiseStamp or any other one, but what you're looking to create is a dynamic email. So that means that you can have clickable links and do that kind of stuff. So the last thing that I have on the email section is, oops, I was in the wrong one. The last one that I have in the email section is a product called Folio. So as a realtor in particular, Folio is a really incredible tool because it lives within your email, okay? So it lives inside your email, and it detects contracts, right? So when you have a contract on a certain street, it looks for emails from that address. It looks for emails from the escrow officer, the inspection company, the lender, and it helps organize your email. It also does a lot of other things besides just organizing your email and creating these great folders. It will also create timelines. You can create templated emails. When I say templated emails, like time frames. So it does some transaction management type stuff. So basically, like when you activate a new contract, you can have customized emails that go out on a specific time frame. You can create alerts and different things. So I used the free version just to organize emails and create folders around, like email folders around addresses. I know several people that use it for a transaction management process. So again, here's timelines, service providers. It's just super easy way to organize your escrow. So Folio by Ametree is another cool product that's out there that I recommend that you look at just to help with email management in general. Here on the right, actually, this is an example of an email. Let me make it larger. This is an example of a dynamic email that we send from BombBomb. So every single week we have 2 sets of emails that go out to all of our clients. If you're under contract, we send one that's called Your Escrow Update. And again, it's really cool because we're encouraging them to click on our Facebook, click on our Instagram, follow us on YouTube, right? Or even write a review. That would be super important. We'd love reviews. And so that's an example of one of the dynamic emails that goes out. So let's talk a little bit more about Google. No, I do not get paid by Google. I just really like their products because they're so seamless and easy to use. So Google Calendar is one of my favorites tools because with Google Calendar, you can do a lot, right? So you can see I'm in a class right now and I've got some other things right there, but I can have multiple calendars. I can look at my husband's calendar. I can turn his calendar off. I can turn his calendar on. Same thing. So in terms of sharing calendars and the accessibility of calendars, it's one of my favorite tools to use. I was a hardcore Franklin Covey fan. I had a planner and I loved my planner. I'd buy a new one every single year. Google Calendar blows that one out of the water because again, I can easily share my calendar with my husband. My assistant has access to my calendar. She can schedule things for me. My ISA can schedule things for me. She can see where I'm at. And seamlessly, I can even look at my assistant's calendar and say, oh yeah, let's schedule a meeting. Or if she's got something, right? Like it's just super, super seamless. And I can turn calendars off and turn them on. So a couple of the calendars that I have are like birthdays. All my past clients that I've sold a home to, I have their birthdays programmed into my calendar. Home anniversaries are programmed into my calendar. Family birthdays are programmed into my calendar. Escrow, right? Critical dates. Those are all in my calendar. But sometimes I just don't want to see all of that, and I can click and turn off that view of that calendar. I can still get notifications. I just don't have to see it. So calendars, just a huge tool. If you're not utilizing the calendar, you should. Google Drive is another great tool that I love using, and it's easy to use because it works so seamlessly with your email and sharing folders. And if you use Google Sheets, if you use Google Docs, so it's basically like the Microsoft version of Excel and Word and PowerPoint. The thing that I'm using today is a presentation in Google, and I just love the easiness of how to share docs and revoke access, and the naming conventions and how easily it integrates with email. So it's important that you have some sort of digital storage for your contract. So if you're not using Google Drive, you're looking at something like Dropbox, you're looking at something like Microsoft's version, of it as well, but you definitely need a digital option. And since we're talking about Google, I couldn't pass up an opportunity to talk about Google My Business. So if you don't currently have a Google My Business page, I'm going to recommend that you get one. This is our Google My Business page. You do have to activate it. And it's a great way for you to collect reviews from your clients, to post your listings, to post additional content and videos, and just really help you be found online. This we could spend a whole class on just Google My Business, but if you have questions about it, I do have some documents I can share with you. Just reach out to me on how to set up a Google My Business page. It's free, so you absolutely should be doing it, and it's a great way for you to collect reviews. Speaking of which, I would love it if you wrote me a review on my Google My Business page. That would that would help me out a lot. I'm currently in the process of trying to get my 230 plus Zillow reviews over to Google. So if we've done business together and you like me, please drop me a review on my Google My Business page on the Big Helper Group, brokered by EXP. So another really cool tool within Google, and this one's fairly new to me. I just started using it. It's kind of like Evernote. So I use a product called Evernote as like an external brain. I can snap a picture, I can snap an audio, I can even write something in my journal and then snap a picture of it, and Evernote reads that, and then it's completely searchable. Well, Google Keep does the same thing. So you could write in your journal, or maybe you're in a class like this and you're taking notes, and you want to be able to someday search that content of the notes that you took. Google Keep will search videos, it will search handwritten notes, pictures, and you can organize it, and it's basically like an external brain of note taking. So you can categorize your notes, and it's cool. If you haven't looked into Google Keep, I'm fairly new to it. I just started using it. I've been using Evernote though for probably 6 years or more, and I love Evernote. So it's going to be a little bit of a shift for me to move into Keep, but I'm strongly considering it because, again, I'm so in deep with Google that it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Another Google product, like if you're using Gmail, there's no reason you shouldn't be using Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive, Google Contacts, Google Keep, because it's part of it's your part of your Google account. So you should take advantage of it. But one of the reasons I love Google Contacts is that you can then go in and create groups, like email groups. So for instance, I have 51 coaching clients, and if I want to send them all an email, I don't want to have to go in and type each person's name individually. So you can categorize and create groups, which means that you could even create transactional groups if you wanted to as well. And you just type in the address and it's going to populate everybody that needs to be in there. There's so many different applications, but it's a really great way. It does sync with your phone. So when you put them into, your Google Contacts, it's going to sync across your devices, and you can put notes in there. You can put birthdays. You can put a lot of great information that's just going to help you be a better agent and better service your clients. So that's are just some of the things that I like about Google, that if you're using a Gmail account, you should look more into those products and services. Okay, so the next slide is all about phones. So this one, we could probably spend a whole entire training session on just like mobile apps, and I'm not going to hit that a lot in today's class. I'm actually thinking of putting together a different class that's all about mobile apps. But what I did want to share with you are some really cool products that you can use with your phone to help with texting and phone calls. So let's open up. By the way, if you notice how I have these like really cool tabs that expand, look at that. So I basically create custom tab, and I can then drop all of these different sites into that tab, and I can name it, I can color code it. So if that's something that interests you, let me know. I'll teach you how to do that as well, because it just really, again, if I were to have all of these open, it would be extremely overwhelming, right? But I can collapse these because I'm not using those. I'll collapse marketing, I'm not using that. Collapse transaction because I'm not using that. And now I just have phone, which is what we're talking about right now. So let's start with Mojo. So if 2020 taught us anything, especially if you live in another state like Arizona, we're very blessed right now because we can do open houses. You know, we've been practicing safe open houses. I've even seen some people door knocking safely, and so we have not been really limited in the way that we do business. We were for just a little bit in 2020, but a lot of areas of the country have been limited, and now more than ever, agents have been relying on their phone. So if you're making any type of like circle prospecting calls, which by the way, I am teaching a class next Wednesday called Dialing for Dollars, and we'll be talking about circle prospecting. We'll be talking about calling expireds, for sale by owners, those type of things. But if you make any type of calls, then I'm going to highly recommend a product called Mojo. It's not free, but it saves you time. So if you're making calls, Mojo's a great tool. It's a dialer, and you can call on 1 line, 2 lines, or 3 lines. So basically, again, you would use this if you are making calls to, well, that's not even true. I was going to say making calls to people you don't know, but sometimes when I'm just doing lead follow-up, and if I've got like 50 calls to make, I'll dump those numbers into Mojo and I'll call on a single line dialer. And rather than hand dialing all 50 numbers, Mojo dials for me. And it just makes it super simple and it speeds things up. So Mojo is a fantastic product. And again, you can use single, double, or triple line dialer, depending on what your needs are. Now this one is, let me make sure this is the next one, but Hit 'em Up is a mobile app and I absolutely love it. So a lot of times I'll have a text message that I want to send from my CRM. We're going to talk about CRMs. I can send multiple text messages from my CRM. Like I can grab 10 people and send a text message individually. But when you text from your CRM, it uses your CRM phone number. Right, so if you're texting from KV Core, if you're texting from Boomtown or any CRM, that's how they have to do it, right? They have to text from a different phone number, and that just becomes my work phone number and then my cell phone number. But if I want to send a text from my cell phone number to multiple people and not be a group text message, Hit 'em Up is one of my favorite apps to do that because it allows you to send a bulk text message, but it goes out individually, and you can create custom groups. So you can create, again, I have a coaching group, so I put all of those coaching clients into a group and I grab that group and then I can send a text message and it'll go out individually and not in a group text message. It'll go out individually to all 50 people, which is really, really helpful. So they do charge for that. There's a bunch of different subscriptions that you can look at. But again, if you find yourself texting, bulks of people, it's a great tool and it comes from your cell phone number versus say your CRM phone number. So the next product that deals with phone is Sly Dial. So there's two. There's actually Sly Dial and Sly Broadcast. So Sly Dial is basically if you just wanted to call one person and you didn't want to call them, you just wanted to drop a voicemail, Sly Dial will let you basically drop a voicemail directly to that person without, basically it rings directly to their voicemail. I don't know. It's like witchcraft. I'm not sure how it works, but it's pretty dang awesome. So if there's ever a time where you need to get somebody a message, but you don't want to get caught up in a long conversation, you can just drop a voicemail to them, which is really cool. Now, let's say that you want to do that on a big scale, right? So for instance, I'm having a party and I want to invite everybody to my party and I want to just drop them all a voicemail. I can upload my phone numbers, record my voicemail, and then with the push of a button, drop the voicemail to those phone numbers, which is super helpful to be able to drop a voicemail to maybe 100 people in just one click of a button. And so Sly Dial is actually free if you want to use it. Sly Broadcast, you do have to pay. But again, there's a lot of great applications. Of course, you want to, make sure that you're not spamming people. I just want to put that out there because spamming sucks and you don't want to get in trouble. And so the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to your phone, as a new agent, you probably are using your cell phone number for everything. And as you grow your business, I'm going to encourage you to get trackable phone numbers. I remember when we were using our cell phone for everything, and our business coach came to us and said, hey, how many sign calls do you get? And I was like, we never get sign calls. Like, we were convinced, we never get sign calls. And our coach was like, well, how do you know? And we're like, well, because we would know, right? He's like, well, what's the phone number on there? And we told him it was our cell phone numbers. And he was like, yeah, you have no idea. And he was very right. So we've used a bunch of different products. The product that I'm currently using that I really like because of the cost is a product called CallRail. But basically CallRail allows me to have trackable phone numbers. So the phone number that's on my sign, if anybody calls and even if they hang up, it goes automatically into my CRM and it texts me that I got a call from this phone number. And I know that they were calling from my sign. If you call me from Google, I have a specific phone number on Google. If you call me from my CRM, I have a specific phone number for my CRM and all of my marketing pieces. So now I can say, I know how many calls I got from a sign. I know how many calls I got from my snail mail marketing and how many calls I got from Google because they're all trackable. But most importantly, as busy agents, and this is where the technology is really cool, is it automatically imports into my CRM. So even if let's say I'm in a listing appointment and someone does call a sign or someone calls me off Google and I'm in that appointment, I can't get it. As soon as I'm done, I've got that text message and they're in my CRM so I can call back and say, hey, I missed a call from you. You were at one of my properties, right? If it was a sign call. If you have a team, it also allows you to call broadcast, which is really cool. So even when it was just me and Meryl, we would broadcast all of our calls to the both of us so that we could, either one of us could answer it. So call broadcasting and call capture, which is just, really awesome. It also does record the conversation so you can go back. Like if you're taking a call and you're not in a place where you can take notes, it records the call. You can go back and listen to it, which is pretty awesome. So if you're not, you could kind of get by this by using like a Google Voice number, which I love Google. I wouldn't even put that in here. I'll have to go back and add that for the next time. But Google Voice, I love Google Voice. I'm pretty sure I haven't listened to an actual voicemail in like 2 years because I just get this transcription from Google Voice and I read that and then make the call back. But CallRail is a phenomenal tool to help you with your phone. So when it comes to, your phone, Mojo to make a lot of phone calls. Hit them up to send multiple text message, slide dial if you just need to leave a quick message, slide broadcast if you want to leave a message for a lot of people. And then a service like CallRail or CallFire or Call Action. Those are all call capture and broadcasting type of products that are really cool. Okay, moving on. No questions, so we're just moving on. I'm probably going to get like 50 emails after this because nobody's asking questions during the broadcast. So, okay, one of the questions I get almost daily is, do I need to have a CRM? So I wanted to take a second and let's talk about what is a CRM. So there's actually 2 different versions of a CRM, and a CRM basically is a contact management system, or client relations management, software, CMS, CMR, whatever. So the first type is just contact management. And I want you to think like it is a tech-enabled Rolodex, right? So your address book that you had, just contact management, but electronically. And so there are products like Follow Up Boss, Lions Desk, Top Producer, RealVolve, Contactually. They just basically organize your contacts for you. And it's definitely a step above, just a paper sheet or even a Google sheet. You could start with a Google sheet, and actually one of my dear friends, she uses a Google sheet and she's a master at it and she's got an incredible thriving business. So it's not necessarily a wrong way, but I look at Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss is one of my favorites, by the way, because Follow Up Boss will grow with you. It's a very inexpensive tool that can grow and do even more as you grow. But basically what it's going to do is it's just going to manage your contacts. You can set reminders. You can probably send emails. You might even be able to send text messages. I know Follow Up Boss sends text messages. You can even set up some automation in there. And it's just managing your contacts, making sure you're keeping in touch with people. A CRM can also be a lead management or a lead nurturing system that is a little bit more robust. So this is where we kind of see that differentiation in price, right? A contact management system is less expensive. And then a lead management, lead nurturing is typically more expensive because it has the back end and the front end. So I always look at contact management as the back end of a CRM, and lead management is also the back end. But the front end is when you have your website, right? Your IDX, where you send people to see homes. And so those are products like KV Core, Boomtown, Sierra Interactive, Chime, Playster, Wailopo, Commissions Inc., Real Geeks, right? The list goes on and on. I feel like every week I hear of a new CRM that came out. So I have a lot of opinions on CRMs. You can just reach out to me and we can talk about it privately. But at the end of the day, you absolutely need something to manage all of your clients, because again, we're leaning into technology to leverage our time so that we can be more efficient and have a life outside of real estate, right? So everybody asked me, do I need a CRM? The answer is yes. We just need to figure out how much of a CRM do you need, right? I kind of joke and say a lot of people use Follow Up Boss, which is a product that I really do like. But they don't pair it with any type of like IDX or websiting or anything like that. Follow Up Boss pairs really well with Wailopo or Playster. Those are two that I like to see paired together. But Follow Up Boss on itself is like, okay, you basically bought yourself a Mustang and then you put a 4-cylinder in it, right? Like, it's a really powerful product. And if you don't partner it with something like Wailopo, then you're just not able to get everything out of it that you could. But it's a great place to start. And a lot of these, like Lion's Desk, I know works with Zillow, it works with Realtor.com. So a lot of times, and Follow Up Boss does too, if you're buying online leads or even Facebook leads, they'll dump them into Follow Up Boss. The only disconnect is if you don't have a place to send them to see homes. So you definitely need a CRM, and we can talk about where you're at in your business. Great news is with EXP, everybody gets a KV Core site, which is one of the top CRMs out there, and it does everything on the front end and the back end to make your life easier. So I have a whole class on transaction management and project management and systems and tools for that. So I'm not going to go super deep in here, but I want to highlight some of the tools that you absolutely want to be aware of when running your business, because they're very, very valuable. So the first one is a product called CTE. And I'm just going to take you to the homepage of CTE. CTE is one of the most inexpensive tools that you could possibly have that is going to make profound impact on your business. So what it does is it allows you to track all of your contracts and all of your lead generation, lead follow-up, and prospecting activities, and start to see trends. You can even put your expenses in there and start to see your ROI on different marketing materials. You can use it as a solo agent, or you can use it as a team, and it's mobile friendly. So I want to say it's less than $40 a month. I want to say it's like around $30-something a month. It's mobile and it's desktop. And as you can see from here, it's going to show you what you have active, what you have pending, what you have closed. It's going to show you your trends. And then it just generates incredible reports. You can look at, and if you've been using it for a while, you can look at it year over year. So I'll go in with my coaching clients and we'll see where they're at right now compared to where they were last year. You can create goals and it'll show you where you're at with your goals. Again, putting in your expenses, managing profitability. There are so many amazing tools within this software. I don't get paid to talk about them. So just know that I really do believe in this product, and it really helps you track and measure your business from both a production standpoint and a lead generation standpoint. So CT is one of my favorites. If you've got a big team, we use a product called Sisu that does the same thing, only it's much more expensive, because what it does is it doesn't rely on an agent to enter their numbers. It pulls it out of our CRM. So we run contests. We track all of our, we run contests. We track all of our transactions. It works with SkySlope, and it's another great tool. But for a solo agent, I would definitely point you to CTE. It's just a fantastic tool. So the other one that we use, and we use this with our brokerage, is a product called SkySlope. And I love SkySlope. SkySlope is so easy to use when you are managing your transaction. It's basically how we get everything to our broker. So some people use Dotloop. Dotloop's also awesome. I'm just way more familiar with SkySlope again because we use it at EXP and I used it at Revelation before. So it's a fantastic product. What I recommend when you are working with SkySlope is, again, you can send out electronic signatures, you can organize your files, you can even create checklists and to-do lists per file that really make it easy to stay on top of your file, and it's all in one place. It stores everything, and of course, then you're broker compliant, which is always a great idea. So if you need more help with SkySlope, there's classes, and of course, just reach out to me. I don't know a lot about SkySlope because my transaction coordinator does most of it, but I do know enough to be dangerous and know how incredible it is. The next two products I want to talk about, I'm only going to show you one, but it's there's two products. One's called Infinity and one's called Monday.com. There's also products like Asana. So Asana, Monday, and Infinity, they're all basically the same. I'm testing out Infinity right now because they had a promotion going on. It was like $150 for a lifetime membership. And I pay like $100 a month for Monday.com. So why am I even bringing this up? What is it and how can I use it? So basically when it comes to managing projects, right? So we use Monday.com to manage all of our projects, all of our video editing, all of our past clients, and just move things forward. So this one is called Life of an Escrow. We have an escrow checklist that basically helps us know if things are, if things are in line and where they're at and where they should be. We have something called a buyer closing protocol. So we make sure that we're asking for a review, that we're doing all of the different things that we're supposed to be doing. Also, like a listing checklist and making sure we're on there. Our operations meeting, and like our do, doing, and done. We manage our recruiting, everything we do. All of our projects are managed through Monday.com. So that's Monday.com, Infinity, Asana. They are like the next level type of automation. But if you just want something a little more simple and also that's free, then I recommend a product called Trello. Trello, Trello. You can create really incredible Trello boards or a do, doing, and done board that in different projects, and invite people and create documents and share documents. There's just so many things that you can do with Trello. So when it comes to project management, if you guys are already using a lot of automation, then Infinity, Monday, Asana, those are great products. Otherwise, Trello is incredible. There's a lot of Trello boards out there that people have shared. So you might want to look into that because just kind of keep you organized. So next I want to talk a little bit about marketing. And when it comes to marketing, there are so many different tools. I just wanted to share a couple with you that are free and that I find super, super helpful. So I'm going to open up my marketing tab. Later.com is a really cool product that allows you to schedule posts in Instagram and Facebook for free. So again, for free, you can schedule, oh, my battery's low, I better hurry. You can schedule things for free in there and up to 29. There's also a paid version that allows you to do stories as well. And I'm going to text Kelsey. Oh, she's not here. I don't know if anybody's here to give me my power cord. Text Meryl. So I like Later. It's so simple. Can you bring me my power cord by the front office? Teaching a class online right now, and everybody can see that I'm texting him. The other one is Hootsuite. So the difference between, again, this is scheduling social media posts, scheduling content. The next one is Hootsuite. Now, for me, I actually like Later.com, one, because it's free. I can schedule 29 posts on both Instagram and Facebook for free. If I wanted to do more than that, or if I wanted to have a second account, then they would charge for that. Hootsuite allows you to have like up to 10 different accounts. It also does post to YouTube and LinkedIn. So both are scheduling platforms. I like the ease of later more, but Hootsuite does more. And so, there's a fee for that. Now, one thing that a lot of people will tell you is if you're using a product like Later or Hootsuite, that they feel like Facebook basically penalizes you because it's posting from a third-party source. So if you go to Facebook and in your search bar, just hit Creator Studio, it'll take you here. So this is actually within Facebook and within Instagram, and it's a free tool. So I use it. Basically allows me to schedule my content. Thanks. Meryl's coming to the rescue. I told everybody online that that my power was running low and that I asked you to bring it for me. So Creator Studio allows you to schedule content for free. And it's also easy to use. Again, I personally like later.com, but just to make sure that I'm not getting dinged, I actually will just come in here and I'll use Creator Studio because it's right in Facebook. It's very, very easy to use. And then you're not getting dinged for having power. You're not getting dinged. I hope you guys can still see everything because my screen just went away and I'm not sure why. Okay, I'm unmuted. Something weird was going on, but okay. So that's Creator Studio. It's one of my favorites. Another tool that I really like for social media is an app called Caption Writer for Instagram. And Caption Writer is really cool because it allows you to test different fonts. It allows you to do your spacing, right? If you've ever been writing a post for Instagram and you can't put in that extra space and you're kind of limited, one tool you can do is just go into your notes section, write it, copy it, and paste it in there. Or Caption Writer is a really cool product that allows you to test different fonts. It allows you to search different hashtags. And it's just one of the tools that I like to use when I'm working on social media. I will also tell you one of the things that I really recommend that you do when working with social media is schedule your social media. I go in on the weekend and I schedule out my social media for a week or more, just depending on how much time I have. So that way when it's during the week, I can just focus on selling real estate, focus on my business, and I don't have to be thinking about, I need to create a post, because I've already done it. So it's something that I really enjoy. Now, if you do not use Canva, Canva is one of the coolest tools out there. And honestly, Canva, there's a free option. And so you're going to want to go in and use Canva just get familiar with it. And you can YouTube a lot of different things. But Canva has really changed for real estate agents because they have all these templates. You can share templates. You can make postcards. You can make Facebook posts, Instagram posts. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do within Canva. So if you haven't signed up for Canva, you can start with a free account and just start watching some YouTube tutorials because it's really going to help you create some slick marketing that's just easy to use. Another app that I really like for social media is a product called Ripple. And Ripple also has templates that you can use. I don't know that you would need Ripple and Canva. Ripple's way more easier to learn on the go than Canva, so maybe you would start with Ripple. But they do have a monthly subscription, so that's kind of up to you. But Ripple also allows you to schedule out posts that you create in there, but they're more dynamic posts, they're templated posts. You can do video, you can do a lot of different things. It's just an easy tool if you want to step up your social media game and you're not sure where to start. It's a product that I'd recommend to get started. One of my favorites that I really, really like is a product called In Stories. And I was introduced this to In Stories from a friend. It has a bunch of templates that create dynamic stories that you can use for Facebook and Instagram. And using different templates and video applications that just tend to get a higher view. So that's one of the apps that I really like when I'm working with social media. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about social media is kind of my secret weapon. So it's kind of a big deal. If you've been here for an hour and 4 minutes, you basically get this awesome hack. So if you go to Etsy, you can actually just search. You can search Canva real estate templates, and there are hundreds of Canva ready Facebook posts, Instagram posts, postcards, listing presentation. Look at this, expired marketing. You can buy like a whole kit on expired marketing. And basically, it's an instant download. It opens up in Canva, and then you're able to change it to your color scheme, change pictures out, change content, add your logo. It's such a cool hack if you are busy and you don't have a marketing department. Like, just know, now you guys are going to see some of my posts, and you'll know I didn't create those posts. I bought a kit from Canva, put my colors on it, put my logo in there, and I've been able to use a lot of this Etsy stuff in my personal brand. It's been very helpful. So it's one of my favorite tools that I wanted to share with social media. Just don't tell everybody, right? So, okay, so that's marketing. And again, those are just some of my favorite tools that are going to help you stay on top of things. So lastly, this is a big subject. So this is I wouldn't start here. But once you start to get a little bit more comfortable with technology, then there are some really amazing tools that connect you with everything. So one in particular is called Zapier. And Zapier specializes in connecting different platforms. For instance, that's how I use CallRail. I created a Zap, which just means a connection. So I take CallRail. When I get a call from a signed call, a connection or a Zap is made into my CRM. So that's what Zapier does, is it specializes in connecting different products and tools. So there's endless ways of how you can do it. There are some Zaps that are free. And then if you get really complicated, there are Zaps that cost more money. So basically you can just connect endlessly all of these different tools. And they even have a lot of suggestions on how to connect different software platforms and have them communicate with each other. In that same vein is a product called IFTTT, and it's called If This Then That. And this one is super simple. If I had to talk, about Zapier versus IFTTT, Zapier is definitely advanced and IFTTT is starter, right? So I love this one. You can set up an IFTTT that says, hey, if it's going to rain tomorrow, if rain shows up in my weather app, then send me a notification letting me know. I mean, you can do this oh my gosh, there's so many different IFTTTs that you can do. Again, you probably could get lost in just exploring. One is if my friend has a birthday on Facebook, then drop them this message. Just really cool, fun ways to just kind of automate technology. So IFTTT and Zapier are two of my favorites that do that. And you could completely go down a tunnel of automation with them. A couple of my favorite communication tools that I use, not necessarily for my phone, texting and things like that. One is called Slack. So if you have a team, then I'm highly going to recommend Slack as a product that you look at, because again, it's free. And what it does is Slack supports multimedia and creates multiple channels. So our whole team, we communicate via Slack. It's an app on my phone. It's also an app on my computer or desktop right? I can go to the website and be able to really just, again, we have a channel on training, we have a channel on armless stats, we have a channel on new construction, and we're able to go into these different channels and communicate with each other. But we can post pictures, we can post videos, we can, respond with an emoji. It also uses automation, right? So Zapier or IFTTT can communicate, right? Every time I get a new file, it shows up in my Slack as a notification, and I'm like, oh, I got a new file. Somebody shared a file with me, and I get a notification. So Slack is just, again, one of my favorite free tools. Even if it's just you and an assistant or you and a transaction coordinator, Slack is way more effective than email and or texting or group messages. Just trust me on that. Look at it. It's an incredible, incredible tool. But outside of Slack, then I would say, WeChat and Messenger. Messenger, now, especially because it's connected with Instagram, I'm finding that a lot of my clients prefer to use Messenger, and I love it because it tells me when they're online, right? And so the likelihood that I'm going to connect with them is a little bit higher, and it's just a little more, there's a lot of reasons why you should be messaging your clients on Instagram and Facebook, because definitely Facebook will say, hey, you're in a relationship with this person, and they're going to show your content more frequently, which is, obviously awesome and what you want to do. So those are just a couple of the other tools that I really like when it comes to technology. Real quickly, some of my favorite mobile apps. Again, we could do a whole class on this, but I just wanted to share a couple with you. Mile IQ is one that we use to track mileage. Obviously, as realtors, we drive a lot, and I find that is just an easy tool. If you've got a better one, let me know, but I really love that. Because I'm on the go all the time, I use a lot of voice notes. So I use my notes, and with my notes, I just kind of dump those. Again, I'll dump those into my Keep account or into my Evernote account, but I'll go back with my notes and just kind of look at them and listen to them, remind myself something. So I love voice notes when I'm on the go. I use a Compass app all the time, right? When you're out with a client and they want to know, exactly, is this, I know my north, south, east, and west, but sometimes they want to know specifically. So I'll pull up my compass and we'll just kind of see, and we'll be like, yep, that's where we're looking at. So I use a Compass app a lot. I really love the Showing Time app. If you have not used the Showing Time app on your phone, you're missing out. There's a lot of opportunity there. It's easy to use and it's great communication. So make sure you get familiar with that. And then my husband and I go back and forth on this one all the time, but I really like HomeSnap when I am out in the field versus the mobile MLS. So I like looking at homes on HomeSnap. I also like looking up other agents on HomeSnap and just kind of see what they have going on, because HomeSnap will show their production for the last 2 years, which I think is kind of cool. So those are just some of my favorite mobile apps that I use almost on a daily basis within our business. So that's actually, we're going to wrap up a little bit early. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, I can totally understand, because I just gave you guys a ton of options, a ton of tools. So the whole purpose of this class, though, remember when I started out the class, I said, we're busy people, and the idea is that we lean into automation. So I talked a lot about email. I talked about other systems and tools. Lean into automation. Now, whenever you try something new, it sucks, right? We're not very good at it. We get frustrated. I told you, I'm not super techie. In fact, I don't set up most of our Zaps because I get frustrated with it, but I know somebody like my husband that will set up my Zap for me. But even then, I can watch a YouTube video. I have successfully set up Zaps before and IFTTTs by just Googling it. Just the other day, I taught myself how to create a QR code in Canva by YouTubing it, right? I just went to YouTube and I searched, how do you create a QR code in Canva? Because I had never done it before, and my assistant does it all the time. And so what I'm saying is, figure out where you could be more efficient, lean into automation as much as possible. My goal is that in my lead follow-up and some of the things that I'm working on, that if I could get 70% done through automation, that would be awesome, right? Then only 30% would be required of me. And usually that's making the call and creating a custom message or home search or CMA or something like that, right? So as you try things, you're going to fail. It's going to be uncomfortable. Change is hard. So try and then try again. Don't give up. Just know that, it's a skill that you build over time. And then if you don't know how to do it, just GST, or GTS. Actually, I wrote that wrong. GST. I'm a little dyslexic. It's GTS, and that's just Google that stuff. Google is my friend. I Google a lot of things, and it helps me learn how to do things. So don't be afraid. Just start small. And, I always end my class with one of my favorite quotes, from Jim Rohn that says basically, if you really want to do something, you're going to find a way, right? Because if you don't, you'll just find an excuse. So if you really want to learn a piece of technology, just start small, try, fail, and try again. I promise it'll get easier over time. Don't make an excuse, just kind of lean into it. All of the links for all of the products that I showed you are in the resources at bighelpertraining.com. If you're curious about joining a team here in the Phoenix metro area, we would love to partner with you. We're looking for solid agents that want to work hard and give great customer service. So you can learn more about our team at thebighelpergroup.com. I appreciate you coming here. Feel free to reach out and connect with me on social media, and let's talk about how we can be more effective and dig into technology to be the best versions of ourselves. Thanks so much for coming.